Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
He was thankful that at least one day of the year, everybody celebrates the devil.
Oh my God.
And he's talking about Halloween.
Yeah.
There's an ex-Satanist, a member of the Satanic Church. He came out and he said,
Halloween, it is the most probably important day on the Satanic calendar. It is also the night of the year where there is the most human sacrifice on the whole planet.
what's so weird about Halloween is all of the paganism that ties into it and the fact of it just being from a dark place.
Halloween is a dark, dark day. If you are a Christian, you must not engage in any of these practices of the occult. There is legit darkness that can be channeled.
So October 31st is supposed to be the day where the underworld and the spirit world connect.
Yeah.
They're looking for refuge from people.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to give food to the poor. The way trick-or-treaters come to your door, trick-or-treat. Because if you don't, then the bad spirits
Will haunt you.
Or
Yeah.
trick or treat.
Yeah. And isn't it a thing where it's like, oh, you're supposed to dress up as these monsters so they don't realize that
They think you're a spirit as well.
You're like, oh, you're on my team. I'm not going to haunt you.
Yeah.
You're looking at massive lines at Houston's main airport. Just one more sign. The government shutdown is making air travel especially frustrating right now. Houston George Bush Intercontinental Airport is telling passengers that TSA checkpoint lines could stretch 3 hours. The problem is TSA security officers are not getting paid during this government shutdown. Air traffic controllers are also in the same boat, and this past weekend was the worst for controller staffing since the shutdown began. 16,000 flight delays Friday to Sunday. This is the massive list of air traffic control facilities that had low staff on Friday. The FAA says 80% of New York controllers called out that day. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says staff shortages will get worse before they get better.
Listen to me. Better yet, let's turn a light on. It's getting dark. Hey, air traffic control in these airports, they're going to end up needing a whole lot of help if this shit doesn't stop. I mean, this is going to turn into a national emergency, and they're going to end up stopping traffic. I just watched a whole report on this. I've read into it, and if this government shutdown continues, there is no traveling for Thanksgiving, folks. And if you do get out, you're not coming back because they're eventually going to shut this shit down due to safety. Planes ain't going to be taking off. Planes ain't going to be landing. I can't believe that when you people voted for this man back in November, that you didn't foresee any chaos, that now that the damn airports are going to have to shut down because air traffic controllers are not going to work, which then means there's no one to tell these fucking planes where to go, so people ain't traveling. This is what you've done on top of the many other things like the SNAP benefits and these kids not eating. And I don't give a fuck less what you say about people going to work and not using SNAPs, because I guarantee you've borrowed money from somebody at one point, or you've struggled at some point too, so you can fuck yourself on that.
Now, that was a very passionate choice of word. Shout outs to my path forward 2024. One thing I do agree is that this thing might end up shutting down. Like, I can agree to that. You gotta think how many delays there are and people who planned ahead. So when they get there to the airport, there's gonna be all them people there from probably the day before. They're gonna have to shut it down. There's no other way. Like, I think the question is, at what point does this all become a safety hazard?
Insane. That was wrong.
Well, what was the sob story? Depends.
Well, it doesn't matter. We have a sob story.
We're number 3 in our line, but there's 4 lines. And the controller's not, he's not really willing to tell anybody what their sequence is. So I don't have anything to tell you. I have no idea how long it's going to take to get off the ground. But again, we're number 3 in our line, so hopefully we're getting close.
He's wearing Oakleys, I'm wearing Vaders. One of these is going to block facial recognition and the other is going to get destroyed. Can you tell which one of these glasses is going to block facial recognition the best? It's probably going to surprise you. So I just went and turned the lights off in the garage. You can see this camera still hasn't flipped over to IR light, but we're in a little bit of a darker setting. When we flip to IR light, you're going to be able to see who's exposed and who's protected from IR, which is what facial recognition systems are using. Right there is the switch, and now you can see Oakleys do nothing against facial recognition, whereas Vader are going to block out those wavelengths that facial recognition is going to use to scan and build a geometric profile of your face. A lot of people also ask, hey, can you move around in the video? Can you switch glasses? And yes, we can do both. I can scoot over here, my dad can scoot over here, and you can see I'm still the one that's blocking facial recognition, whereas he's not, and I can even take these off. I can hand them to him, and now he will be protected from facial recognition, and I will be exposed. This is what Vader brings to the table. This is the product that we're offering, and if you want to block facial recognition, this is one of the best pairs of glasses.
Shout out to Vaders. You just found out the sunglasses of the future, if you ask me.
6'7" represents, it just represents my brain, like what comes up in my head. Everybody that I played it for fuck with it, but it was like funny. I liked it though, so I ended up leaking it on my Instagram to see what my fans thought, and hey, this shit went crazy.
Dictionary.com might be single-handedly destroying society. They just announced their word of the year for 2025, and it's way worse than you think. You guys still got 2 months left, you know that? You sure you don't want to think this one over? Every year they announce a specific word that captures the cultural spirit for that year. There's dozens of these word of the year lists out there, chosen by the likes of Oxford, Cambridge Dictionary, Merriam-Webster, the whole gang. But Dictionary.com, these guys are doubling down on the brain rot, and they're straight up admitting it. Because their word for 2025 isn't even a word, it's 6'7". Like the number, not even spelled out as a word. 6'7". Well, that was a good run. This might officially be the end of that meme or whatever it was. Never mind it not even being a word. Words also need a definition, but according to dictionary.com, 6'7" is impossible to define. But if you thought they were done, just listen to what the runner-up words for 2025 were. We had aura farming, broligarchy, clanker, which is probably going to be offensive in a few years, the dynamite emoji, which also isn't a word, Gen Z stare, kiss cam, over tourism, tariff, and tradwife, short for traditional wife. I'm honestly just shocked type shit wasn't on that list. Maybe 2026 is its year. But bro, if these are the types of words we're going to be adding into our formal vocabulary every year, then brain rot might just be the official world language of the New World Order or whatever's coming next. Idiocracy really was right about everything.
Yeah, this was a question that came up on Halloween. Shout out to all of you who was in the live. 6'7", what does it mean? Now it's the word of the year. Shout out to Phil Spixel.
If you're over the age of 30, this is for you. Now, if you're not new to my page, then you know I usually talk about music and stuff. I promise you, this is related to music. Unless you live under a rock, you probably heard something known as 6'7", right? And you're probably wondering where did it come from? Why did South Park feature it? What is all this talk about 6'7"? Let me explain. This is how the story goes. Around this time last year, a kid went viral because he kept saying 6'7" in his interviews. Literally became his whole image. Every time somebody asked him something, 6'7", 6'7", right. And see, it was really just that until people started making connections, right? Like LaMelo Ball, who just so happened to be 6'7", 6'7", 6 rebounds, 7 assists, right. And then we got this kid right here who went viral for saying it. I don't know, this was dumb. I don't know why he went viral, to be honest. But where did it come from? Who was the first person to say 6'7"? Well, look no further than the Pennsylvania zombie himself, Skrilla. Back to Skrilla. So Skrilla made a song called Doot Doot. And when I say Doot Doot, I mean like Baby Shark Doot Doot. You feel me? In that song, he says, bro put belt right to they behind. The way that switch, brr, I know he dying. Oh my God. 6'7". Hold on, wait. I just bipped right on the highway. Bip. That's important, because now after hearing this, you probably thinking, Ren, you just wasting my time. That's just a man rapping. No. He meant something with it. If you're from Philly, which I found out was in Pennsylvania, it's still weird, then you would probably know about Roosevelt Boulevard. West Roosevelt Boulevard to be exact. Now, when we go back to Skrilla's lyrics, look at this order he says this in. 6'7". I just bipped right on the highway. 6'7". I just bipped right on the highway. See, while everybody's making it into something meaningless, Skrilla was actually being very descriptive of his actions. But I'm gonna be 110% honest though, it still low-key has no meaning. That's just the closest thing to the meaning. But if you were born in the 90s, the closest thing that you could probably relate this to is back then when people used to say, what's 9 plus 10 and then 21? Another example would be like that one episode of SpongeBob when they were in class and they just kept saying, what's funnier than 24? 25. It didn't mean nothing. It was just random and funny. But I thought this would be a cool little breakdown. If you like this video, don't forget to like, follow, and comment down below.
That was a good breakdown. Shout outs to Mixed Brian. I like the video. So it really means nothing. I guess it's just a trend.
You guys ever heard of the Chinese bottomless pits?
Oh my gosh, what?
Multiple? Plural? Multiple. Cool. It was in Langyu County in China. In this village, there are all these ponds, but they call them the bottomless pits because no one could ever find the bottom of these pits because they just were so deep. But they use them for like getting their water, feeding their crops, but they were always full, never ran out of water. And then it was in 1992.
Your birth year.
That this one farmer decided to pump the pond, drain it. He's like, I'm tired of this bottomless thing. And what he found was this deep pit, but it wasn't natural. It was human made.
What?
Turns out all these bottomless pit ponds were different chambers that were carved into the earth over 2,000 years ago.
What?
These cave systems, they range from, they think around 200 BC to 2380. The name that they give them now is the Cave of the Immortals.
I'm just thinking logistically, how do you dig back then that deep?
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying too. They said the vast amount of earth that they would have to move. They said we don't even know where they put it.
Yeah, I wonder how long people have like known that the ponds have been there.
I said, how long have these been filled up? And they said, according to dating of like water retention, all this stuff, they said that they've been filled up for 2,000 years.
I bet that like the HOA or the group that was living around these ponds are like, I'm so mad. Don't be going draining my ponds. I use this pond to water my garden. There's all these people grumpy about it. As soon as he sees like the head of the statue, he feels vindicated.
But then the HOA people see it and they're like, listen, this is more real estate. We can rent this out. This is perfect.
This is nuts.
This is not a conspiracy theory, it is a fact. This is the most haunting curse in sports history. RG3, Washington's young star QB, infamously suffered a horrendous injury against Seattle in 2013. Now, Jaden Daniels drew tons of RG3 comparisons, but this one is insane. With all of America watching, both QBs have now suffered gruesome injury against the same team in the same stadium on the same yard line, both on second down and both in the fourth quarter. So you might be thinking, bro, I hate conspiracies. That is just a dumb coincidence. Until I show you this, Joe Theismann and Alex Smith. On the exact same date, 33 years apart, we witnessed something insane. Both Washington QBs broke their right tibia and fibula in the same location and on the same yard line. And both of these injuries were caused by three-time defensive players of the year. I'm speechless. This cannot all just be a coincidence.
That is a haunting coincidence, absolutely. Shout out to the Ball Boy podcast. That's some great investigative journalism right there.
Just a little side note, 2 billion people in the world eat bugs, and I'm one of them. I'm telling you, that is a fruity taste. I'd recommend it.
This plant-based meat is not only amazingly delicious, but it's also better for you and better for the planet. It's a simple change that makes a really big difference.
Dinner. Hello. You want to go? You want to share a spider? Hot?
Can I make one without sugar?
It's actually really good, the flavor.
That's an insect-based premium protein. This is a powder derived from the mealworm, and it's a insect protein just been approved by the EU.
It's protein. It's delicious, and it's delicious. Let me find the.
And what does it taste like? Chicken?
It tastes like crickets.
If I was Punga right here, I would have popped off on Marlon for what he said. You got to understand that the mouth hold a lot of power, no diddy. So what you say out your mouth can come true. So what he said to Punga is wild as fuck, y'all. Look at this shit.
What about him? He ain't, I'm good. You, I'm good. He may not be here long. I think, I see something bad in your life. You got like 2 years left. We gotta watch him. Y'all hang out with him now. He ain't gonna be here in 2 years. Don't you look like you fit? You look coffin ready.
I don't see how that was funny. I look coffin ready? Fuck, they gonna sacrifice me? Fuck you mean I got 2 years left to live? Boop boop.
Okay, politics aside, ladies, if you wanted to know if a woman was interested in your man, take a look at this video. It's very telling, and I'm gonna call out all the signals as they happen. Check it out.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you
Look how she glows up just talking about this guy.
Very dear friend.
She's glowing.
And his wife.
And look how her demeanor completely changes when she says, and his wife. A complete 180 from before.
And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD.
She sees her husband in JD.
And Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight.
He's glowing again. He's smiling
because
again. Look at her.
He understands.
Okay, let's take a look at the hug. Everyone's commenting about this, so I'm going to share my thoughts on this. Let's look at the hug. Now, the hug itself, it's very telling, and it's a very strong and close embrace. Look at the placement of her hands. Look at the placement of his hands. He's kind of shaken up about the situation. He feels overwhelmed, and I think it's really coming more from her than him. But he's not oblivious to this. I mean, look at the placement of her hand, for Christ's sake. Now, again, ladies, would you allow your husband to hug another woman this way? Probably not. Ladies, would you hug another coworker, male coworker, this way? You probably wouldn't. Would you hug your best friend's husband this way? You probably wouldn't. I mean, look at how she's looking at him. And I know if that was your man, ladies, you'd have a major problem with that. If you had a beautiful young woman like that in black leather pants, you'd have a problem with that. Now, I'm not saying they're doing anything, but no, body language tells you all you need to know, baby. Because that embrace says everything you need to know how they feel about each other, especially how she feels about him. And she squeezes his arm at the very end as well. If you have a woman in your life that is this much into your man, there's a problem.
Politics aside, this one's for the ladies. What do y'all think? Y'all let a lady be all up on your man like that? Shout outs to Rudy A. Man, body language says a lot. Maybe we see in the future or something.
This video is going viral right now of Erica Kirk backstage before a performance. You know, lights, camera, action, confetti. Back to Now, if that's not crazy, listen to what she says about JD Vance and her husband. This is like the strangest, or let me know your thoughts if this is not strange or not. I think this is the weirdest possible thing to say. Listen to this.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight, because he's an amazing man.
So let's unpack this for a second. Publicly, we all saw what happened. Then we're finding out all the abnormalities around what happened and how they've demolished the area that it happened at now. Like, it's totally been replaced. Even the freaking floor tiles have been replaced since that event took place. So we already have some fishiness going on around there. Now, Turning Point USA has completely changed. Whistleblowers are coming out and talking about changes that have went on that are very strange. And it's like it's been co-opted, but they had to remove, or at least it had to be removed for this next phase. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because this is a shocking and strange and mysterious circumstance.
If you look at Erica Kirk's ring, you'll see the letter G, but everyone always says, what does this G represent? Yes, it's Freemasonic, but this is the reason why guide, gnosis, geometry, Genesis, God all begins with a G, because it all relates to the generative principle. The generative principle is the force that creates all reality, which is care, or the heart, the love. All creation is created through love. You're watching this video right now because you care about gaining the information. And if you don't care, you'll take the action to scroll and find another video you care about. Whatever's in front of you in your reality, it's because of the G, the generative principle, the care energy. You only take action on what you care about. If you care about money, you'll take the actions to generate that reality. If you care about football, you'll take the actions to generate a football reality. So this is the G. This is the force that drives human action. This is why they say money makes the world go round, because everyone cares about money.
This is absolutely batshit insane. I can't believe this is real, but I confirmed it myself. I went to whitehouse.gov/mysafespace and look what comes up. I'm honestly enraged right now. The official White House website has launched something called My Safe Space. I thought it was a parody. I guess it's a parody. I thought it was The Onion. I saw this and I couldn't believe it was real, but it's hosted on the actual .gov website that your government tax dollars are paying for during this shutdown. And here's what's on it. They've created fake profiles for Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. They have called Jeffries things like Timu Obama, Dollar Store Obama, and Sombrero Guy. The whole background is covered in sombreros. They've literally photoshopped Jeffries wearing one in multiple pictures. There's even a top 8 friends section featuring Tampon Tim with a photo of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. And all this went live while the government is shut down and federal workers and members of the military aren't being paid. In the About Me section, it says, hey, we're Democrats in the House and Senate. We love DEI, transgender for everyone, and handing out taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants. We couldn't care less if our men and women in uniform get paid or if our neighborhoods are safe. We love playing politics with people's livelihoods. The irony of this being posted on whitehouse.gov. Now, while the president himself may technically be exempt from the Hatch Act, that doesn't mean that other people are. And who approved this? How much taxpayer money went into it? And think about the precedent it sets when the president is using whitehouse.gov to attack political opponents. This is sickening. If you don't believe me, it's at whitehouse.gov/mysafespace. I also couldn't believe it was real and had to go look for myself. This absolutely crosses a line, and I just can't even believe the callousness of this government as they refuse to fund SNAP for 40 million people. They triple, quadruple, quintuple people's healthcare premiums for next year and take away Medicaid and Medicare for so many people. It's just disgusting. And that your taxpayer dollars are going to make websites like this instead of funding the things that they should be funding. It's just disgusting. So anyhow, make sure you're following me for more and share this video, please.
Yo, that is wild. A MySpace profile on the government website. That's insane. It's definitely subliminal, in my opinion. Shout outs to E. Orleans. I don't know. This might be a clue to something.
In here. Yep, there you are. All right. Feel free to walk in. Thanks so much. What is your name?
Pascal with the Y. Y-E-H.
With the Y. There you are, sir.
What's your
Welcome.
name?
The party's that way. Enjoy.
What's your name?
My name is Neil.
What's your name?
Neo as well.
Oh. That was pretty funny, huh?
Yeah, well, hey. It's going to be a good time today, so. Yeah.
My God. I feel like I discovered something revolutionary, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Okay, so I was outside in my yard, I was grounding on Earth, and I thought of, sorry, I'm so excited. On Earth as it is in heaven came into my mind, and I thought, I realized that this was a secret not just for the Bible, but also in esoteric studies that meant something real. That in heaven, in this fifth dimensional space, where our higher selves are, where our higher consciousness is, it is the same as here on Earth. And we can study this specific thing I'm about to tell you about on Earth to learn how the science of higher consciousness works. Wait, this is so crazy. Just stay tuned. Okay, let me take you through this in a calm way. First of all, the first legends of heaven was that there was the above heaven, the below earth, and then the layer in between. Some called it a firmament or dome. This is in like every story ever. It's also known as our subconscious in Carl Jung's psychology, the middle layer. These heavens hold the gods, but you could just think of this as God energy or the energy of all our higher selves, this collective and individual consciousness, and they have their own science. Okay, then this book, A New Science of Heaven, came out a few years ago by Robert Temple. It was about how the science of plasma will transform humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. And I don't even know if he realized he did this, he probably did, but it is quite literally the new science of heaven, because when we look at plasma in science, which makes up 99.9% of our visible reality, and we apply as above, so below to that, it also makes up 99.9% of the invisible reality. So, something about plasma and electromagnetism. Plasma, the fourth state of matter, it is known as ionized gas. It is the aurora borealis in the sky, the northern lights, those glowy things. It is also shaped by electromagnetism. These magnetic fields shape the plasma, and it responds as well. It is in a feedback. So if magnetism, electromagnetism shapes the universe, on a higher level, our consciousness shapes this finer plasma, this living ether plasma that we just haven't studied yet on Earth because it's not observable, because this is the unobservable reality. Eileen McCusick talks about it too. Plasma is just the visible expression of ether, and we are fundamentally connected to it. Biofield is our personal expression of this ether. I wrote an entire book about this called A New Force. It's the links in my bio. This basically means if we look at science, at physics, at biology, people are starting to do, this guy's literally saying that stuff is informed by a higher space he calls platonic space. He's applying it to AI. We apply this to our higher consciousness. Everything on Earth is an instruction manual for the higher consciousness, this realm itself. Studying plasma is studying this new science of heaven. So I'm literally starting in magic school. We can learn the science of higher consciousness, create changes in ourselves and reality by learning about this. You can sign up at the link in my bio. Our higher self wants to give you everything. It's limitless. If you can't master this layer, you'll never see it. This is real and exciting, and I'm going to teach it.
I agree. That's definitely exciting. Shout out to Dana Kipple. Definitely want to check out that metaphysical mysterium, for sure. I think the idea of learning how to bend spoons is fascinating.
Do we really think this is an ichthyosaur, or could it be something else? Maybe something that rhymes with kragan. You see, this page on the FB posted this lovely video. This video of what mainstream science will tell you is a sea dinosaur. But if you're anything like me, you don't really trust mainstream science anymore. And when you look at things that they find in the cliffs of the United Kingdom, and you're told that it's some sort of sea monster, well, if you look with unprogrammed eyes, you see what that is. You for sure see what that is. You see that it looks a heck of a lot more like this dragon statue built in Sylvania in the early 1900s than this cartoon picture of an ichthyosaur. Yeah, something's sore, all right. My brain from believing this nonsense for 42 years. But if you're new to the idea that dragons were actually real and dinosaurs were the fictional thing, let me catch you up. Oh, and stay tuned till the end because there's something you might want to hear about. First, take a look at what the 1946 dictionaries used to say. Dragons, now rare. Interesting. Let's see what Alexa has to say about this. Alexa, how many dragon fossils have been found in the United States?
The number of dragon fossils found in the United States is limited. Only 5 fossils have been discovered so far, limiting the knowledge about these creatures. These fossils are studied by researchers to learn more about dragon species and their evolution. While the findings are preliminary, they provide insights into the life and times of these majestic creatures.
So the dictionary says they're real. Alexa says they're real. Several weeks ago in the UK, they found a fossil that looked like this, even though they called a plesiosaur. That sure looks like a dragon to me. And just a few weeks after that was found, CNN reveals that their scientist actually unveiled dragon remains. Not to mention how they're part of the Chinese zodiac with all real animals, and how there are over 30 verses in the Bible that reference dragons, and how my friend Lori sent me this amazing 1922 dictionary that just happens to have the word dragon in it, and let's see what it says. Is it going to say fictional character, mythical beast, or is it going to say something else? Winged serpent. So why would they hide it from us? Why, when you go to the dictionary now and look up dragon, does it say mythical monster? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's because of that right there, and it legitimizes the Bible because it talks about dragons everywhere in the Bible. And I think we're living during a time of great deception, and the great dragon called the devil and Satan is loose for his little season and fooling the nations. And that's where this comes in. But I don't dare release hardly anything on him anymore because every time I do, I get account ban warnings and strikes and things taken down. So when I put it here, it seems to be safe. But let me just give you a tiny little taste on how that guy over there has been referred to as the dragon many times by Kanye, by the Chinese government calling him the Dragon King. But there's one in particular. One right here that you can read for yourself. The Grand Dragon of what? What is that? Right down there? Now let me show you one more thing before I leave you. Remember that name down there? Now, is it just me or is it a coincidence that that name that I just showed you sounds an awful lot and looks an awful lot like this? A Mesopotamian deity associated with wind and air and learning, and it's a feathered serpent that kind of looks like that. Wind and air and learning. Does that sound like anyone to you? Kind of sounded like Lucifer to me. You know, Lucifer, the Lord of the air and the bringer of the light or enlightenment or learning. You know, Lucifer, the dragon. You know about the Statue of Liberty, right? How that was its original face. It looks a lot like, you know, who just happens to, you know, match up perfectly with facial markings and everything with him. Yeah, I bet this is just a funsies picture. Kind of like how this thing that looks like a dragon and is feathered is just another coincidence that you know who happens to be talked about with feathers an awful lot. Go check out this video. It's well worth your time. And the community is amazing, especially if you're on the FB, because there's just open-minded souls willing and open to talk about anything and everything, and we share a lot. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. Like I said, that's just a picture they made for funsies, and dragons aren't real, dinosaurs are. Duh. Entertainment only. Now this.
I believe in dragons. I do believe they existed. That part I do agree with what he's saying. Shout outs to the fittest flat earther. Yeah, definitely a trippy video. A lot of trippiness right here.
Ini loh saudara lu nih, bawa sekalian ini.
Well, a lot of people want to know, is this thing real?
It came from the same direction in the sky where the WOW signal, the radio signal that was detected in 1977 was found. And that was an enigmatic radio signal that we never understood where it's coming from. That direction was within 9 degrees of where 3i Atlas came from. And the chance of that happening at random is 0.6%.
What happens if there is a first contact? This is what we have to be prepared for. When I say we, I'm not talking about the government, because we know what the government wants to do. They want to fire a hellfire missile at this thing, then reverse engineer the technology so they can make weapons. But the question is, what do we want to do? We meaning 8 billion people. We have to take back control of this planet.
And like I said before, I'm not with you guys 10%, 50%. I will always be the voice for the people in Israel. I will always stand behind the country of Israel, the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather in Israel. I will always be here for you guys when you guys don't have a voice.
It's one or two things when it come to this Floyd situation when he was talking about Israel. It's either he sold his soul or he was forced to do what he did on stage. In the speech, y'all can hear this man clearly trembling over his words, while the people in the background looking like, I don't know, y'all, it's some weird shit going on, fool. That ain't the Floyd I know. I know he stutter a lot, but trembling in his words, that equals scary. If you ain't see it, go look at it.
They say it's the reason why he always wins. Shout out to Zay Reacts.
Quick snap update, the USDA announced that it will cover roughly half of November's monthly benefit payments. Because only partial funding is available, no funds will be available for new applicants in November. Disaster assistance or safety net cushions will not be funded either. This happened because 2 federal judges ruled that the USDA must use its contingency funds, about $5 billion, to continue funding SNAP. To deal with this partial benefit plan, states will need to reprogram their systems, and it may take weeks or months to implement these changes and issue payments. Funding for SNAP ran out because of the ongoing 2025 federal shutdown, and this was the first time in its history.
Yesterday in Spain, a photographer came across a leucidic animal called the Liberian lynx, and they usually show up when there's about to be an ecological humanitarian crisis because they're basically the environmental messengers that's connected to the Atlantean energetic grid system. Now, when you get into the metaphysics of theological context, it talks about a great majority of these mythological creatures that's in the Bible. So when you go to Revelation chapter 21, verse 1, it says a new heaven and a new earth. That is the third dimension merging in with the fifth dimension. The physical world merging in with the quantum world at the same time, to where a lot of these mythological creatures start to show up in the form of an omen. When you get into the esoterics of indigenous culture, anytime that the universe sends a leucidic animal to the planet, they're basically a galactic messenger. Because when you look at the eyes of a Liberian lynx, their eyes have the ability to pierce the veil, and the white coating of their fur is a representation of the light body being activated during the time of the Great Awakening period as you have the fall of the physical world. All I'm gonna say is that the more the planet speeds up in vibration, the more these motherfucking Pokemon is gonna start popping up. And you can just tell by looking at the eyes of the Liberian lynx, it has an ancient energy. Because like I said, there's an ancient energy just coming to the planet to combat the negative forces.
To be honest, when I seen the video, I couldn't tell if it was AI or not. I wish there was more footage of it. But I do agree with him saying that, we'll start seeing mythical creatures and whatnot. Shout out to BDell1014.
Humanity is evolving to have superpowers, and this peer-reviewed paper that just came out today proves it. Oh my god, okay. So certain people, by Tom Matt, are experiencing an unusual visual phenomenon. They are calling it upsight vision. They are seeing literal holographic images in their eyesight, like in front of them. It is not a hallucination. It is not imagination. It is not projected imagination. These are real other things. They are more translucent than bright pink. In the study, they set out to know the difference between hyperphantasia, which is visual mental imagery, and visual hallucinations, and this thing called upsight vision. And here's what they found. Basically, there is a heightened perception or a heightened processing in visual and cognitive networks relative to visual mental imagery. But what they found was so cool. The paper's like 32 pages, but I'll break most of it down quickly. One really interesting thing is upsight vision resembles normal vision more than hallucinations or imagination. Guys, we're evolving to see the netherworld. Tom literally sees beings in his vision. He can interact with them. It is almost like he shows that this is where you can see regular matter like an apple. Then he perceives what he called dark matter, but he calls plasma. These images, these plasma beings, he can perceive with upsight vision. And some of you are having this and don't know what the F is going on. So that's why I have to put this out there. You're okay. This is peer-reviewed. This is normal. This is happening. Our eyes are evolving, biatches. Tom even has like a cool coordinate system mapped out of this like new realm we're seeing. I call it fourth dimensional plasma. He calls it the organic metaverse. But we are literally starting to perceive a reality where we are seeing other beings and other things, whether they're archetypes, other intelligent beings, memories that we're seeing, past, present, and future timelines. This is all real. Sorry, logical people. Get used to it. Right brain rules. Also, the alpha power in the brain decreased. Alpha is 8 to 13 hertz in frequency, roughly. This is when someone's awake, relaxed, and not processing strong stimuli. So it basically showed that he was processing stronger stimuli, some other thing in his field of vision. Also shows a release of inhibition or more right-brained. Even if photos of the decreased spectral power and frequencies shows he was actually seeing something else. They want to test it further. They say they want to find more individuals with upside vision. They conclude this is a valid thing, a valid phenomenon that is happening. And they see an increase in gamma power in the right frontal and left posterior areas. Gamma's high frequency means the brain's communicating very rapidly. It's like multidimensional sight. Is emotional and holistic pattern recognition, creative insight. There's a perceptual vividness that also happens in lucid dreaming, but this is different. Who has upside vision now does readings. Put his website below. I'll put it right here. He sees the images in your subconscious. It leads to all these revelations. So cool.
Reminds me of what B-Dell was just saying. Being able to see different things. Shout out to Dana Kip. Shout out to Tom Matt. Upsight vision. Very interesting. But at least there's a science to what's actually being experienced.
I don't want to cause any panic, but in the next 72 hours, we're going to possibly have some major solar flare activity directed at our planet. Here's a comet interacting with the sun once again, causing solar flares. And at the back of the sun, it's extremely active with solar flare activity. Funny enough, blasting towards 3 Atlas and Venus. And the next 72 hours, those major active zones are going to be facing Earth. And geophysicist Stefan Burns has done a great rundown of what's going to happen. But when these bad boys are facing Earth, we could be expecting some spicy firings off into our general direction. So whether that's going to interrupt with satellites, communications, radios, whatever else is on the cards. But I've got a prediction that in the next 72 hours, if this does happen, UFO and strange anomalous activity will increase. I mean, look at all the sunspots there, mate. All of the dark sections just ready to absolutely give us a good run for our money, all right? So, yes, keep your eyes on the sky, because if we do end up having an ejection, then we might be in for some incredible activity to happen.
What the hell is going on in our oceans, y'all? Why the hell do we got an orange shark? They just discovered a white lynx that look hella mythical. Now a fucking orange shark. If this ain't no sort of sign, I don't know what is then. Fool, just the other day I seen a motherfucking meteorite. Or, as they say, a shooting star. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. Can somebody explain this shit? Next thing y'all know, we about to have a purple elephant or some shit.
Bomba clap me people, hurricane come for jam monkey me fuck. And the raft people got me donkey, no baby mama, and one angry ocean. Pray for me, raft gone, donkey drowning, I'm a giant wetter than a tongue. This a disaster people. Ill Eagle clutch and brought me to the real Melissa. Linking bio to donate to Jamaica. Stay illegal me people.
Careful, this model's got teeth.
Yeah?
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Ow, hey!
Kidding, it's all for show.
You almost had me.
Almost?
Okay, totally had me.
More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
Well, you promised in your campaign that you were going to deport the worst of the worst. Violent criminals,
we're doing that.
Rapists.
Well, that's what we're doing.
But a lot of the people that your administration has arrested and deported aren't violent criminals. Landscapers, nannies, construction workers,
landscapers
farm
are
workers.
Yeah. No, look.
The family of U.S. service members.
I need landscapers and I need farmers more than anybody, okay?
Is it your intent to deport people who do not have a criminal record?
We have to start off with a policy, and the policy has to be you came into the country illegally, you're going to go out. However, you've also seen you're going to go out, we're going to work with you, and you're going to come back into our country legally.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.